Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Gator, who is going to have a mythic character, and visually we get to see him in a little bit of a different light. In the past he hasn't looked as badass, I would say, as we see him here on the right hand side. He has got a gator head like attached to his leg. I do like that, and he's kind of hitting like the light blue vibes, the hat and the sort of rope around his chest. He is a fast character, as you can see. He is holding that machete. It is a default weapon, so it's not look like he's going to have an attached weapon in this one. We get to see his tattoos. I don't think we've seen too much in the way of his tattoos in the previous, iterations of Gator. Quite a legendary character in RTS. Maybe not for the right reasons. The original Gator was seen as like one of the most lamest characters ever. I actually got that guy in a level up. He was like my third or fourth ever 5-star character. Way back when, way back when. On the left hand side we see his art, and I will say that Gator's art is probably one of the coolest looking arts we've had so far. Obviously it is a little bit animated. He is swaying, he is doing a little bit of a wink himself on his right eye as you look at him. But yeah, I like the art overall. I do like it a lot. If we look at his stats as a gold mythic, tier 5, level 600, he has got 13,229 attack, 16,227 defense, and 14,480 HP. You'll see that defense is boosted. This is off his base kit, so obviously no weapon, no leader skill, so there is part of his kit that is boosting his defense up. We'll check that out obviously as we go through. Most likely a passive skill. He is a fast character. He is considered a tank mythic character, of course, and his allegiance, he is part of the Road to Survival. He is, I think, the second character we've had come in as allegiance to the Road to Survival, and the other one would have been Sandy. These are RTS original characters. So first we will go over the Adrenaline Rush, and it is Tiring Assault, 66 AP cost rush, deal 350% damage to 3 enemies. Those enemies get confused for 1 turn. This character and 2 teammates get camouflage for 2 turns. That rush is actually pretty deep. There's a lot going on here. He's doing damage to 3, pretty reasonable. He is a tank, so that isn't going to really be boosted up too high, but if he is a tank, he's generally going to be on a defense team. The people he's going to do this against are generally going to be offensive, and they're not going to have like the hugest of defensive stats, so it could be reasonably decent. The confuse for 1 turn is nice, especially if you hit the right character, because if someone has a massively glass cannon build and you don't take them out, they're going to do a lot of damage potentially to their own team. Confuse is extremely dangerous on the wrong attack teams, especially heavy hitting percentage attack teams, and that's what the mythic characters are generally going to have early on. This character and 2 teammates getting camouflage for 2 turns is a nice little boost. It does mean that things like AoE, Rampage, and basically anything that's non-targeted damage will not work as well. I think a lot of people know how it works with Jesus, where it basically slows down attack rushes quite a lot, and it does help you protect your team really, really well. Okay, so here we are on the rush turn. I'm going to be using him on attack, so I can just control the rush a bit easier. I will select one of the characters I want to do the rush against. The one character selected is the only guarantee. The other ones are RNG. We'll get the rush off, and he will do quite a lot of damage. This is why I said he is behind the defense leader there, Abraham, but he'll take a lot of damage, and that's what's going to happen to attack characters when they are coming up against Gator on defense. The other characters it hit was Magna and Jesus, and you can see both of them are confused, and you can see 3 of my teammates now have camouflage. This does mean if any AoE rushes come in, or any multi-hit rushes, for instance, Gator's rush himself is a multi-hit rush. It will no longer hit the characters that are unselected by this rush. So the initial damage will come in, let's say on Gator himself if a rush comes in, and then the extra damage onto Aaron and potentially Negan will just not happen. It will just be blocked by camouflage. So I actually think this is pretty good, especially early on in the Mythic era, just because, like I said, it's mainly going to be percentage damage dealers on attack. You're not going to have any of those like strange tanky effect builds that are going to come in. And, the likes of Andrea, Princess, Abraham, these tough characters are going to take trait damage as well. So Gator's going to have a lot of fun there. And the confuse, once the attacks start going around, again, it's going to be very dangerous for your own team. The camouflage works extremely well on defense, and I think any sort of camouflage buff really is nice. The fact that it goes to 3 characters for 2 turns is one of the more powerful buffs we've seen so far from the mythics I've reviewed. We'll go across to his signature move, and it is called Find Cover. It has an initial cooldown of turn 2, cooldown of 2 turns, number of uses 999. It is pretty simple. This character gets a Guardian Shield. That's it. Nothing else. Well, except the fact that it is a signature move, so he will get 35 AP doing this as well. It will not count as percentage AP gain, so he will not be able to be exhausted or anything, just like every other character who gets it on their signature move. But it mainly makes him have a guaranteed windowless attack. So if someone attacks him, they will not gain AP, they will not do any damage. This is actually quite nice. It's just extremely limited. 1 character Guardian Shield isn't really that big a deal, but it might play into, different parts of his kit. Okay, so as you can see, the Gator on the defense team has not got full AP, and he's going to do his signature move this turn. I'll do my signature move as well. And you can see right now I'm on 14 AP. I should go up to 49, I believe, 49. There we go. So I'm on 49 AP. I get the Guardian Shield as well. And the character, he does it as well. But as you can see, both of us got elusive. This is interesting. I'm not sure why that is. Again, it could be because of other parts of the kit. We'll have to check it out. But otherwise, pretty basic signature move. Definitely not the most powerful we've seen. Very much self-sufficient. He's looking after himself, nobody else. And he is a tank, so generally you'd want him to be able to, take damage and be someone who what people want to focus. But in this situation, they're going to want to ignore him. So hopefully the other parts of his kit are going to boost that potential. The first part of which could potentially be his mythic abilities, those passive skills. Gator's mythic abilities are Strength, where he gets 20% critical hit resistance. This is because he is a tank character. We saw the same thing on Darius. The next one is Sentinel. That's where that 15% defense boost comes in on his base stat. This should multiply with his weapon, with leader skills. So already he's up to nearly, 17,000 defense. That could be boosted quite massively. The last passive, he only has actually got 2 extra passive over the class passive that he normally would have. It's Hidden Defender. When gaining a Guardian Shield, 50% chance to gain elusive for 1 turn. This is kind of interesting. So even if you remove that Guardian Shield, he potentially still will not give out AP. I think that's kind of cool. I think there could have obviously been something that made it a bit more scary for him to gain a Guardian Shield, or as a target that you'd have to take out, because at the moment it's not really seeming that way. I'm not going to show the gaining of the Guardian Shield with 50% 50% chance at elusive, because we just saw it. We just saw it both me on attack and defense, and the rest is pretty self-explanatory. So we'll go across to his specialist skill, and it is a brand new specialist skill called Aggro. Now this is where he does kind of need to be attacked, and this is why he was doing quite a lot of damage. This character gets 30% attack and defense at the beginning of each turn if it was not directly targeted by a successful attack or ability in the previous turn. And it seems to be directly targeted, not like rampage damage on a non-targeted attack. You have to select him and attack him, and obviously that could take 2 turns to do on turn 2, because you'd have to remove the Guardian Shield, and then you'd have to attack him again after that to actually do targeted damage. But then you could have 2 characters not gain AP there, the Guardian Shield, and then if the elusive pops up. So obviously annoying. Bonuses given this way stack with each other, and other bonuses, it resets on a new wave of combat. So it doesn't even reset when the character gets attacked. It just won't happen, maybe. We'll test this out. We'll make sure that we understand how this fully works. Okay, so I did not target Gator on the first turn. I'm just going to defend with everybody. He'll get his Guardian Shield up, and he got his elusive up as well, and this is the situation I was talking about. So if we attack, he still has the buffs. If we attack again, he still has the buffs. If we defend, he didn't get a re-up on the buffs. They're still at 60%. Did they disappear? They're just going to stay throughout the rest of the fight. So basically, the longer this fight goes on, the more powerful that Gator's going to get, by the looks of things. You can see my Gator's in the same position where he's getting a multiplier because of buffs. But we'll see it just go up and up. I'm just going to keep defending on all my characters. Is there a limit? Let's actually have a little look. Okay, at this point, I'm just going to say no, there's not a limit. I've got to 420% attack on my Gator and 300% defense. If I rush, you'd think, oh, I'm going to absolutely destroy this Gator. But no, he's at 240% defense. So he's barely going to really take any damage. He's actually going to take barely any damage at all the longer you leave this guy alive. I like this a lot. Obviously, this can be removed. You can have characters that remove enemies' buffs in their signature moves or in their rushes. So that is the only potential. Or you could have a ransack weapon and steal these buffs away. So honestly, pretty hilarious specialist skill. It kind of reminds me of Berserker and Indomitable, but rather than needing to be attacked, it just happens every turn unless you're attacked. I really like this idea, and he's going to be a character you're going to need to control. That turn 2 suddenly becomes annoying with the Guardian Shield and Elusive, because you are going to potentially lose out on AP there. However, I don't think signature moves AP gain are blocked by Elusive, and they're not blocked by Guardian Shields either. That is the only downside to this, but you would be wasting 2 signature moves on a character just to be able to stop them from getting a buff. And that would stop them from being able to get up to 30, 60% attack bonus on that rush. Now, that might not sound like that big a deal, but on a character that you're probably not going to boost the attack of at all on a defense team, that is going to be very handy. And especially as it lasts pretty much throughout the rest of the fight, unless it is stolen away from them some way, or it is cleansed on them by an enemy's signature move or rush. Gator's going to be like eternally buffed. And don't forget, he is a fast character, so he can hold a fast healing weapon. You're going to have people who just throw a lot of HP on his character to keep him to self-sustain, and then he's going to rely on the buffs of Aggro just to boost his attack and defense throughout the fight, until he's just going to become this monstrosity 5 or 6 turns in, which is going to be really hard to take out. So talking of his weapon, like I said before when we saw it on the original screen, he has not got an attached weapon. So if you already have a really nice defensive, fast healing, impenetrable defense weapon crafted up, you can just put it on him. It will be interesting to know if aggro doesn't happen, if he gets an impenetrable defense block, if it's counted as direct damage or not. Let's test that out. Okay, so we're going to keep it basic. We are going to just do one-on-one situation. He is holding an impenetrable defense weapon. It has got fast healing on it as well, so if he does take any damage, he will fast heal back up. We're hoping that he's going to actually reduce the damage down to 0 at least once in these first 2 turns. The first turn he's not, so the fast healing should come in. Will he heal on the second turn? Yes. And the buff comes in from the specialist skill. So it isn't about him taking, a hit, because he did get hit. It's about him taking damage. It isn't about him gaining AP, because he would have gained 1 AP from being attacked. When you get attacked and you hit an absolute defense, it still gives the person 1 AP. Same with the Guardian Shield. So that's extremely interesting. It's just about the character taking damage. So if you have an absolute defense weapon on him, you can stop people basically stopping him from getting a buff boost from his specialist skill at the end of the turn. So while he is a fast character and you most likely would have used an absolute defense or impenetrable defense weapon on him anyway, it's going to be even more beneficial for Gator because of that specialist skill. I actually like the fact that it interacts that way quite a lot, and it just makes a lot of sense. It should be about damage taken, not just the fact that someone has targeted him, tried to hit him. It should be about him actually taking damage. So Gator is an extremely interesting tank. He's one of these tanks where if you leave him alone, he's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as the fight goes on, and he's going to inevitably just take out 3 of your characters with that rush hitting 3. By the time it comes around for that second turn, if you've completely ignored him, he'll have a 180% attack boost. Even off of his base stats, that's still going to mean he's going to have 30,000 plus attack. That is going to be crazy. and no real percentage damage dealers are going to be able to deal with that amount of damage output. So, yep, Gator, he is turns into that final boss a lot of the time if you don't take him out nice and early. And if you do focus him early on or stop him from getting those procs on the specialist, it's just going to allow other characters on the defense team a lot of freedom to get things rolling. You know, their own signature moves. The controllers are going to get the control in. This character is a really good distraction, honestly, and he kind of acts like a shield in that you must focus him to stop him from, you know, taking over. Whereas most of the time you ignore a shield till last, you ignore this guy till last, and I think it's going to go pretty badly. But do tell me what you think about Gator as a mythic character visually, the art, also how his kit is. What do you think about his new specialist skill, which is Aggro? Do let me know in the comments down below. But that is going to be the end of my video. If you did enjoy it or find it useful, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber on my channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you are already subscribing, please turn on all notifications, click that notification bell, change that to all, and you'll be told when all of my videos come out, when all of my live streams go live. But that is the end of this one today, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.